What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 11 of the IncntrolGaming podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ole, and joining me, as always, is my fellow co-host, PK.
Hey, how you doing?
How's it going, Patrick?
If you're tuned in, then you're in control. I'm gonna try and come up with a nice catchphrase every episode.
And
now.
yeah, I think you should keep trying until the people agree with you that that's the right kind of catchphrase.
Like, yeah, that was the one.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Until then, we'll probably get infinite dislikes until we catch the right one. It's fine. But guys, this is the IncntrolGaming podcast, your one-stop shop for all the latest gaming news, opinion, what's happening in the industry, what games we've been playing, and just general commentary from two chuckleheads like us. A little bit of housekeeping because we like to keep things straight. A couple of corrections from the last episode.
We get things wrong.
Yeah, we get things wrong, and we would even appreciate you guys telling us when we get things wrong completely. To begin with, I said Shadow of War. The new game from Warner gives weapons in loot boxes only. I made it sound like it's only weapons when in actual fact you mainly get orcs from the loot boxes in the game, and the aim of that is to use them in the online portion of the game. So that was a mistake on my part, and an even more embarrassing correction that I have to make on my part as well is I made it sound like Vanderlind could be a separate playable character, and I completely forgot that's Dutch's surname from the first game. So Dutch Vanderlind is not going to be a playable character in Red Dead Redemption 2. So just wanted to get those facts straight. But anyway, now that we've got that out of the way, Patrick, let's get straight into our first section, which is the news. All right, so our first news item that we have is to do with the House of PlayStation. We've got a bit of reshuffling going on over there. The CEO, Andrew House, who's been in that position since 2011, is stepping down. He's moving aside, and he's been with PlayStation for 27 years. And he
launched the first PlayStation.
Yeah, I think he should have been there during the first launch, definitely. Speaks fluent Japanese, which I love as well.
He's friends with Hideo.
And he's friends with Hideo, yes. I will always love him for that announcement video that he did with Kojima about Death Stranding, which was just him looking so freaking excited to have Kojima signed to make a PlayStation exclusive, and Kojima next to him looking absolutely haggard. You could tell he had just escaped the Konami dungeon. So Andrew House is stepping down, and we have John Codera stepping in to take his place, and he has been in charge. He's been president of network services. He's been in charge of PSN, I believe, since about 2010. So he's going to step in and take Andrew House's place. But Patrick, basically why we really bring this news item up is like Andrew House has been basically one of the visionaries credited with where PlayStation 4 is right now. Because lest we forget, PS3, end of the generation, I mean, people were saying they had been beaten up that generation. And on top of that, people were saying consoles were dead. Yeah. And everything was mobile.
Well, I mean, one of the main reasons I'll miss House is simply because I'll miss him on stage at E3.
Oh, good point. Yeah. He was always great at E3. I loved
seeing him at E3 all the time because he knew how to get us pumped.
Exactly,
before every reveal. And after that, is this the right time for him to leave? Because, I mean, Sony is in a very good place right now. It's either you're leaving because of personal reasons. Obviously, we don't know why he's leaving, but he says that he has to explore other challenges elsewhere. But also, PlayStation is in a place where, especially, he supported the VR movement quite a bit.
He really made a big push.
The VR, and it's not, VR wasn't a flop.
It's right. We can't even assess VR because it's been like a year.
And it seems that Sony, in the general sense of the direction that they're going, they are successful, but there is also a gap that they have to cross in terms of tech. There is a nice breach coming. You can sense it coming. Maybe by the time the PlayStation 5 comes out, we're going to be seeing some really, really nice. I don't know. Well, the point that I'm trying to make is that, is it the right time to leave? But hey, if it's personal, then I guess you can't really.
I mean, he was there for 27 years. Let's not take that away. I mean, that's my entire life, basically. So it's understandable wanting a change of scenery. I want to say, with John Cadera coming in, who's been in charge of PSN, which has seen explosive growth over the years, that could be really interesting in terms of seeing the services and network side of PlayStation like become an even bigger focus, and maybe getting some new features, maybe doing changes to PlayStation Plus and that sort of thing, because he's like really had a big push in Sony's digital ecosystem. But yeah, good luck to you and Andrew House, whatever you're doing next.
Bye, Andrew.
Hopefully it's still within video games, because we like to see such like talented personnel stay within the industry. And let's move on to our second bit of news. This will probably excite you quite a bit, and Michael, who's a really big PC guy. But we have Neo, which came out, when was that? March?
Neo.
We have Neo, the complete edition, releasing on PS4 and PC on November 7th. This is obviously going to include all the DLC that's been released. I think it's been 2 large DLC packs that have come out. And there's going to be some 2 new modes added for PS4 specifically. PS4 Pro owners, you're going to have action mode if you want that.
That's in November, right?
Yeah, November 7th. It's going to have action mode if you want pure 60 FPS. And then it's going to have movie mode for 4K resolutions. I don't know what your thoughts on like that being announced. I mean, Neo's a game of the year.
Neo is well, I'm still playing it. I'm really enjoying it. Obviously, for a PC gamer, this is going to make a lot of sense because I mean, I've played a few games on PC, but then I started getting through the headaches of getting a good computer to play good games. And I don't think I ever crossed that border of saying like, okay, look, I'm going to get a super powerful desktop. Or a sufficient laptop. That's like the least.
I'm gonna slam that 1080 Ti or GeForce 780.
I don't know if I'm gonna get that alien where like people are just hooked onto their laptop and this laptop can power up a really powerful game. But not straying from the point is that Neo essentially is a really good game.
So you would definitely advise PC players
I'm advising you to get Neo. Well, the story is a little bit haphazard because, I mean, there are times, I think I'm about 6 missions in.
Oh, you haven't beat it yet?
No, I haven't beaten it yet. I'm about 6 missions in, and I think... I'm relatively far to comfortably analyze the game for now. The story is my only complaint. Otherwise, it looks good. The combat has some flaws, especially when you have to click R3 to lock onto a target. And then sometimes when there's multiple targets, obviously you're locked onto that one person, and then you drag R3 in the direction of the next enemy. And sometimes it can... When you've got multiple targets, it can be a real pain.
Crowd management. Is
exactly.
A pain,
But other than that, feels really good. But the story, is really bad.
You know, I'm a big story guy.
Yeah, I'm a big story. Look, there are times when it's in a cutscene, and then obviously the dude is speaking in Japanese, so he's just like, "Hey, William, why don't you come and help my cousin sort out this war?" And you're like, why am I going to help your cousin to sort out, like, to make an advancement in his war? No, if you sort out this, then he would have, obviously he's speaking in Japanese, but I'm
I really know that's how he spoke, though.
No.
That voice acting is amazing.
He's speaking in Japanese, but obviously... When I see the subtitles, this is the accent that I'm reading it out.
Yakuza syndrome.
So it's just like, let me help me eradicate this old temple of demons. And you're like, okay, so if I do this, then you're gonna help me fix my ship. And it's like, of course, the commander will help me. And I'm like, okay. And then you go sort that out. Your ship is fixed. I mean, this is not including any spoilers or anything, but essentially you sort one thing out and it's just like, all right, now we're going to this region and we're going to defeat the monsters over. And I'm like, dude, give me some sort of purpose. But other than that, I keep grinding through it because simply it feels good to play.
I really want to get around to Neo, so I might think of picking this up maybe next year or something.
And it's hard, but not Dark Souls hard, which is comfortable for me because I know that if I die 3 times, then I just know that it's pattern recognition.
Yeah.
So I will kill the guy maybe on the 5th, 6th time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's
get
okay.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to our third item. Now, we haven't actually spoken about this on the podcast, but there has been a video game voice actor strike that's been going on for the last 11 months. Now, quite a few publishers, I should clarify that this is through SAG-AFTRA, which represents like thousands of voice actors and just actors across America. But they were having disputes with certain publishers about terms of pay, in terms of bonus payouts on video games, and I should also add things like vocal stress were a big issue in terms of like the amount of screaming they have to do when recording dialogue, and that affecting their vocal cords. So there was a bunch of issues that they wanted fixed, and they went on strike effectively against 9 publishers, which did include big guns like EA, Take-Two. So it was a pretty big deal. I mean, even if you saw Life is Strange, the prequel had to change voice actresses.
Exactly.
I should just say voice actors, to be fair. Had to change the actor because she was part of the SAG-AFTRA, so she had to strike, and they had to get a different actor in. But so that was affecting projects moving into the future as well. But that strike has now come to an end.
Finally.
A couple of weeks ago. They have had a few of their conditions met. So they have renegotiated bonus structure payments for the actors. So when a game meets certain milestones in terms of sales, they'll get extra payments depending on how much voiceover work they did. This was also crucial. They needed more transparency on projects because these publishers are very secretive when you come on a project. So like if you could work on a big project like Metal Gear Solid 5 or whatever, it will be code named. You won't even be told the name of your character. You won't be told the character's backstory, all because they want to keep it secret and not leak. So they've agreed to be a bit more transparent, and maybe they've got heavier NDAs now. So at least the voice actor is more comfortable coming into an audition, for example, because they have more information made available to them. So that's good. And they're also working on, getting better sessions and medical assistance for vocal stress. Because
you're shouting a lot.
How many hearing Nate for Uncharted? Imagine screaming that for 2 hours straight.
Performance bonuses were also very important.
Yeah.
Because especially when it came into play with the fact that you are hiring an actor who is in a vocally successful role or has a previous history of being successful.
Yeah.
And now you are you're signing a contract with a big company, a big developer in the video game industry, and you have no idea about the size of the game that you're getting into. You have no idea of how much work is being. This could be a huge AAA game.
Yeah.
And you're not too sure about the things that are involved with the game itself. And you don't know how much money you're gonna. You'll know how much money you're getting, but in relatively speaking, you don't know whether you're going for an Uncharted.
Yeah.
Or you're going for a
more mid-tier kind of game.
Let's even say Killzone or something. Maybe you could be doing Killzone. Killzone is big, but you could be doing Uncharted.
Yeah.
And you don't know how much money that might come back. Everything was very hidden.
Yeah.
And now
it doesn't make sense.
And the game industry itself is huge now. And in my opinion, it has been the Wild Wild West.
Yeah. And they need to structure this.
Of course.
And what I will add to this is I would really like something similar for developers, because they are actually, the actual grinders making these games, and they don't even have unions as it stands, so they can't even unionize. So it's really, and they suffer from terrible working conditions, crunch, and I understand the voice actor side and what they should be getting because it's only fair, but I'd really like to see the same applied on the developer side, because they are actually the gears in the machine, you know what I mean?
And the developers don't really make any high-level decisions in terms of what exactly goes on there.
Yeah.
You can work for a company and say that you are part of, say, you're in sounds or you're in graphics, and you do have an opinion and you might know what is best, but you don't have the authority to make that decision.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
a union would be good.
It will never happen.
Yeah, well,
because there's always someone who's willing to take someone coming out of college, who's done software engineering. They're willing to take your place straight away. I mean, it's pretty cutthroat. So, but it would be nice to see that change. So we're going to move on to our final news item, which is to do with our good friends over in Japan at Nintendo.
Yeah.
Nintendo is dramatically ramping up Switch production to meet the insane demand that's out there for the Switch right now. They are increasing production to 2 million units a month.
They heard InCntrl's complaints.
They heard, well, yeah, we've been bitching about this since like the second episode.
Because we're that important.
Yeah, we're like, Nintendo, please give.
They're like, do not worry, the orders are coming.
No, it wasn't that. It was Reggie. I bet you it was Reggie. Always Reggie. So they're increasing Switch production by 2 million. Like I said, the shortages are reportedly coming from lack of supplying key components like DRAM. And on top of that, so you might be able to find yourself a Switch over the next few months. I think it's going to become more readily available. And hopefully the insane pricing on the Switch will also come down, like in places like over here, where it's in short supply. And then when you do have it, it costs like, nearly $500 on the shelf, which is just insane. So hopefully that'll work out. As well as Nintendo have confirmed that they are increasing Super Nintendo Mini Classic production.
So it's not going to stop.
It's not going to stop at
like
Christmas.
I thought it would.
Yes, they did say it would stop production at Christmas, but it's actually going to go into early 2018. So hopefully if any of you guys are interested in picking up one of those, then you can. I just got mine a few days ago and have been really enjoying it. So yeah,
we'll talk about that
just a public service announcement about those two Nintendo items becoming more widely available, so you might be able to get one yourself. But that's gonna wrap it up for the news section, and we're going to move on to our next, and you can join us there.
Bye.